Oh, 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 whoa, 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 whoa. How come it didn't play the intro? It didn't play the intro, Jack. It didn't play the intro. Oh no. All right, hold up.
Okay, we can start.
But you know this shit's fire.
All right, and we are back and we were live and we still are live. I don't know why I didn't play the intro, but I fixed it. And ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this episode, as you guys know, it's sponsored by Next Level Financial. Take control of your financial future. Get your complimentary financial analysis today by Seth Starnes. And ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute honor to sit down of the legend Lewis Beaudry of Jack Beaudry. As you guys know, if you missed the episode, please go back and watch. But Lewis, welcome to the podcast, friend.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Listen, the honor is absolutely all mine, and like I told you, I'd love to get the kids, the young adults, the young racers on, and then turn around and get their dad on too, because you guys tell the same story, but it's a different version of the story, right? And
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
remember some things, and you remember things that he don't remember, right? So I get to hear your whole journey and everything, and I can't wait. So let's just get into it. Where did your journey begin on the beautiful two?
Um, I really started with bikes. As a I guess as a teen, I didn't have bikes as a kid. So I got a street bike when I was I think 16 or 17, and started riding around the streets of the mean streets of Winnipeg. Um, and that summer I met some of the guys that raced at our local racetrack. That was kind of my introduction to road racing. I had gone and checked it out a few times and thought it was neat, and I think I corner worked a couple of weekends, and yeah, in the following year, I bought some ratty old race plastic for my GSXR, and that was kind of my start to it.
How did you get introduced to track days?
Actually, I didn't ever get introduced to track days. Back in those days,
There were no track days.
you went, yeah,
Uh,
you basically went straight into racing. I think I took the race school on Saturday, and there's your license and go nuts. So yeah, I definitely would have benefited from having been able to do track days back then. Um, I had no idea what I was doing. So it would have gone a long way.
yeah, 110%. And I remember that because that's how it started for me, right? There were no track days. I just signed up for the school, right? Took the school, got my race license. They said, "Here's your orange shirt, put it on on top of your leathers, and off you go. Let's go." Right? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
But back
for us,
then, the rest is history.
it was you're either a spectator or a novice racer. There was nothing in between.
I remember, the anxiety and the build up going to my first, signing up and then paying and actually showing up that morning. And I remember I went to go get my bike teched, and they're like, "You have no safety wire," and I was like, "What is safety wire? What are you talking about? Like, what is that?" I had no idea, right? And that's where I met some of my family in the paddock first time. Didn't know nobody. Showed up. They come over there. She showed me how to do it. Was drilling and showing me how to do it with this safety wire pliers and all this. And I was just fascinated. I was like, "Whoa, this is cool, right?" But I had no idea, none, no clue at all. Um, and yeah, then went in major debt and all that fun stuff that goes along with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it doesn't end.
It doesn't end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess I probably had a little bit of an idea of what to do on the prep side. Having known a few riders, I think I'd helped out some friends once in a while. The summers before actually going out there, so I had some idea. And the club we have, which is called Manitoba Road Racing Association, back then it was a very small club. There wasn't a ton of riders, so you had a lot of help, and it was pretty low pressure, I would say, and very accommodating to bring any new riders.
Yeah, low and very satisfactory. I remember the first time, my first lap ever, just going around. I was like, I can't believe I'm on a racetrack. Like, what am I doing? I don't even belong here, right? It was just that whole surreal experience. It was almost like time slowed down for that brief period, for however moments it was, seconds, right? But it felt like the whole lap, and then all of a sudden, I like came back to reality, and everything just went fast forward again, and then I caught back up with myself, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, I remember the smile on my face. It was just, yeah, the bug. Like I had the bug before, but it was like, I, I I don't know. I don't know. It was just, yeah, crazy. It was beautiful. Peter says, I remember Lewis riding with us on the streets at 16.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Peter's one of the first guys that I ever met, and yeah, we've remained friends over the years, and I'm sure the I don't know exactly how long it's been, but it probably starts with the three.
I love it. We're not giving away our age or nothing here, people.
Yeah, exactly.
You said this maybe started at the three. Uh, so you getting into racing? Did you ever ride on the street too as well?
I started riding on the street, and when I think after the first couple of years, I probably rode less. I never completely gave up riding on the street. My actual racing where I actually put any effort into it was a pretty short window. I realized, it didn't take me long to realize that I wasn't going anywhere with it other than having a little bit of fun. Um, but the social aspect of it certainly made up for it.
Oh, 110%. Like I said, did you meet the most you meet family at the track unexpectedly, right? But I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. The people you meet, the people that come into your life, and where you're at today. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So, you get into track days, or well, racing. There's no track days, right? Your career was short. How long did you race
It
for?
wasn't like the as far as putting any significant effort into it. It was probably maybe 2.5, 3 years. Um, I kind of got into track days after the fact. Like, our club started doing track days, so that's yeah, so I kind of transitioned from racing to track days. Maybe with the odd race here and there, but for the most part, I probably did, you know, 10 or so years of track days versus 3 years of actual racing. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but,
I'm
I
right there.
enjoyed riding. The track day side, it was a little bit easier because you didn't necessarily have anyone to compete against. You could really just ride at your own pace and have
Have
fun,
fun.
as much fun as you wanted. So
That's right. Absolutely. It's yeah, man. It's do you ride on the street now? Do you have a street bike now?
no, no, I haven't had a street bike in years. I think as parents, we were never all that excited about our kids having street bikes. Not as 16-year-olds. Um, so with that, I had to set the example. So I think, I probably haven't had a street bike in over 10 years. I'm jumped on one every now and then, but I haven't had my own street bike in years.
Lewis says I stay broke because look at Jack. Look at the bikes in the background. Look at the racing we go do. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, dude. I feel you. It's beautiful. This is one thing I really love about our sport, Lewis, is the father and son. That's where it starts. And when you knew you was having a son, did you kind of have that vision? Maybe he'd be a racer, or
Not at all. There was never a goal or an intent of ever, you know, doing anything of any kind of racing or anything organized. When he was little, I worked at a Yamaha dealership back then. We picked up a PW50 when he was, a few months old, and had it in his bedroom for a couple of years. He's been around bikes. He was always around bikes, but it never really took off for him. Um, you know what, it really got started when he was a little bit older. He probably started riding when he was about 3 or 4. You know, around the yard on training wheels and that. But he I wouldn't say he ever showed any interest in wanting to compete or anything.
Yeah. Dad said, I'm just going to plant this seed right here in his bedroom. You just stare at this bike for a while. He'll come around.
Yeah, and he did. He did.
I knew it. I knew it, right? So I had the total aspiration. I was like, yes. I told my wife, and she told me she's pregnant, we're having a boy. She's like, I don't care what we have as long as they're healthy, right? I'm like, no, we're having a boy. That's it. Once we went,
Yeah.
you know, the ultrasound, you have a boy. I was like, yes. MotoGP world champ, at least world superbike stage, maybe MotoGP. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll work on it. And yeah, you know, he loves to go to the races and hang out with his friends. And then when he comes home, he's all excited because he sees kids his age, you know, on bikes ripping and riding around or a little bit older. And then yeah, he'll ride his dirt bike for a few, and then it's kind of like, yeah. So I don't force the issue, but
Yeah, yeah, you can't. You
yeah,
can't. That's a good way to make them lose interest if you push it on them.
yeah, I don't want
But
to do that.
yeah, yeah, and you know, Jack more so than my younger son. You know, always wanted to be at the track when you know when back then that was you know track day time. Um, you know, when it was, I guess you know it kind of worked out because when he was you know he's a high maintenance little kid, and when you know when he was you know in 2s and 3s. Um, I was still doing track days, but I would bring him out. There's always someone there to watch him. So he was kind of like the feral kid that would just go around from pit to pit. But you know, you'd always have someone looking over him when you know if I was not riding myself. So yeah, he's you know he's been in the paddock for his whole life really. And so it was back then when he was little, it gave my wife a break and got him out of the house and got him to the track. And then when the second one came, um, it was you know the same thing. It was kind of just get him out of the house because there's a little baby at home, and so yeah, so that was you know kind of his way of how he started going to the track, you know, weekend after weekend.
I love it. It's similar to Rossi. You know, his first race I took him to, he was 3. And yeah, we've been pretty much going every year until Moto America stopped going to VIR. Boo! But we're glad they're coming back. Let's go, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, same thing. It's the one place that I can show up and my son can get out the car and I don't worry about him because everybody knows who Rossi is, right? And
yeah,
when I show up and Rossi's not with me, they'll be like, the first thing I get asked is, "Where's Rossi at?" And I'm like, "What am I, chopped liver over here?" Right? No, I'm just joking. But yeah, everybody loves my boy, so I could show up. He'll get out the car, and I might see him 3 or 4 times, and usually that's for money for food or soda or whatever it is he wants. Right? Other
yeah,
than that,
yeah,
he's on a little 50 somewhere. Just quick story. So we was at Jersey last year, and he's on Yondell Media's little 50. Right? Him and Yondell are super good buddies. And he comes by the car, he grabs a water. I'm at the car. I send him a text, "Hey, I'm going to the car. If you want some water, come by." He comes up on his 50. He says, "Hey, Dad," he was 11, right? No, he's 12. He's getting ready to turn 13. He says, "You see that girl over there? The girl parking people when they come in, you know, P1 parking, blah, 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 this stuff." I said, "Yeah." He says, "I'm gonna pull up and see if she wants to ride on the back of the bike with me." And I was like, "All right, let's see this, dude." Jack, pull straight up on her, Lewis. Says, "Hey, you want to get on the back and go for a ride?" She's like, "I can't. I'm working." And I just started crying, laughing. It was freaking hilarious. So yeah. Memories. I'll never forget, dude. It was awesome. I was like,
good on him.
yeah, man. Jeff says maybe a short race career, but you were always a great benefit to the club and new riders to the track.
Yeah, Jeff's another guy that I've known for definitely in the double digits. He's another longtime motorcycle industry guy. So we
I love
crossed
it.
paths many times.
I know that's right. And now fast forward, now, Jack's grown up, racing and winning races. What's that feeling like for you being a dad and him being out there on the track, giving it his all?
You know, it was very gradual. Like we never jumped into it. We never jumped all in. You know, we started with a Honda 50 and then a 110. Like the faster bikes kind of sneak up on you. It wasn't, it would have been a lot scarier just jumping straight to something really fast. Um, so it kind of creeped in on us to an extent. But we had to keep going if he wanted to. If he was always interested, um, and so we kept it up and kept upgrading the bikes, one step at a time, and we never really skipped to too many steps. It was always, the next size or the next class up. So we made a few mistakes when he was younger. I think we went from a Honda 50 to a 65, and that was a huge mistake. He hated it. He was terrified of it. So that we took a step back, got on a 110, and we've kind of stuck to that one step at a time thing since then.
So I remember about the little 65. So my buddy, he calls me up. He's like, dude, I just bought my son a KTM 65. You got to ride this thing. I was like, man, it's a little 65. They're a little fast, but okay. I was like, are you kidding me right now? This thing will freaking scream. That thing, yeah, it'll move for
Yeah,
sure.
so to put a little kid with not a whole lot of experience on that, yeah, it's
Bro,
it's intimidating. So yeah, he
100.
never. I guess he went from a 110, and then we started doing like modded 4-stroke. So he never really got back onto a 2-stroke until quite a bit later.
Yeah, two strokes are awesome, man. I remember when they were dominant. That's what MotoGP was racing, and back in the day was the 500 two strokes, the 250s, the 125s. That's where Nicky Hayden and Speeds and all them they grew up on 125s and
Yeah,
250s, that good
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah. We had one when you would have been 14. It
beautiful
was
bikes.
yeah, it was a pretty amazing bike.
I guaranteed it's an
I,
amazing
I
bike.
I think if you ask him, that's still, if we could have any one bike back, that's still, if not the top one, be very close to it.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
Um, Dustin says, just stopping by to say hi. I hope it's a fantastic podcast. Lewis is the best. I'm at dinner with the in laws. LOL. Cheers, y'all. Say hello to the in laws. Thanks for stopping by, Dustin. Yes, it's going to be a proper mega podcast.
Yeah, so this bike that's behind me, that's the one I'm working on for Dustin. So Dustin's on the other side of the country, but we're gonna make it all work to get it to him. So I
I
got a little
love
bit of
it.
work to do on it before handing it off, but
I
I'm
love
sure
it.
you'll be
So,
happy with it.
look, Jack says, the legend himself's in the house. He says, the number one bike I'd bring back for
Yeah,
sure.
so there you
Yeah.
go. I think the bike he's on this year is probably a close second. I think he's pretty happy on it, but yeah, that 125 is something else. It was pretty cool. I wish we could have kept it, but for funding reasons for the following season, we had to make a decision.
110%. That's just the way the game is played.
Yeah, yeah.
It
And
is
I just saw Peter's comment there. Yeah, in those days he had a TZ250, which was pretty awesome.
beautiful machine. Man, I miss the smell. Right, two stroke smell. Nothing like it in
Yeah.
the world.
So there was
Absolutely.
actually, we did an ARMA round in Hastings, Nebraska. They've got like an open 2-stroke class, and there was a gentleman there was a bunch of cool ones. Um, Sorry, you hear barking
Oh, you're
dogs.
good.
There was a bunch of really cool TZs and RS 250s, but the guy even had one of those V twin NSR 500s. So yeah,
No way.
that's pretty. That was something to see. You don't see that stuff very often.
Yeah. Well, if you had the opportunity, would you have wrote it?
No, not a chance.
He said, "Oh." What
No,
was your favorite bike growing up? Race bike that you did while you was racing?
I primarily rode GSXR 750s. I had a 1000 for a while. That one it was a handful. It was a lot of power. Especially when I was definitely not the most skilled rider. I mean, I stayed upright on it, but that's about it. Um, I would say probably the 750s, like the mid 90s or later 90s, like the SRAD models.
What a beautiful machine. I remember when that bike come out, I was like, of course, I was in love with the ZX7R because what a great looking bike, and
Yeah, yeah, they
yeah.
were nice.
But when the S-Rag come out and it was just like so much lighter, made more horsepower, it just made sense.
Yeah.
I've owned a couple Suzuki's in my lifetime, three to be specific. Uh, S-Rad model, an '04 Gixxer 600 and a DRZ 400 SM. And yeah, I could very well lose my license on that thing very, very quick. But that's not the first supermoto I own. I would love to get another supermoto, but I probably wouldn't keep my license very long.
Yeah, it's easy to it's easy to make mistakes on them,
Oh,
or
they're
not necessarily
absolutely not
mistakes,
mistake.
but
Yeah, it's too easy to have fun.
it's too easy to have fun. So yeah,
It's
it's not something I'd ever want to own.
I just want to get on it and ride it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel you on that. So you mentioned earlier you're working on Dustin's motorcycle in the background. You work on people's bikes too on the side, or
I not a ton. I work on friends' bikes, primarily friends who are patient because I know I'm really slow and I can't I for the most part I don't I can't make promises for any type of timeline. So if it's someone who I know is patient, I don't mind helping out.
I love it.
But yeah, I got a few in here. I got an R1 I'm finishing up. I've got a 1098 that I did a little bit of work to, so that one's all done. But and then I've got to finish this R7.
Man, I 1098, I had one. I had a 2008 1098S. Man, I love that bike. What a machine.
It's still a pretty sweet looking bike. I don't know if you can
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I
see
see
it
it.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
see it.
it's a sweetheart bike.
Yeah, I got a '08 848
Okay,
now.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah, with a blown motor.
That doesn't help much.
No, so it's a super expensive paperweight right now in the garage.
Yeah. Ironically,
Kubic's 848
yeah,
too.
the next friend motor I may get my hands on is an 848 motor. So I've done a
Yeah,
few of them. I'm not super experienced on Ducati motors, but I know my way around them enough to
to do it. Yeah.
to take them apart and put them back together.
So I had the money to actually get the motor fixed because it's a EDR X EDR race bike, and I had the money. And one of my dream bikes has always been an RC 51. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
it's an RC 51, beautiful machine. I always wanted one. So I'm just browsing the internet, looking up, of course, motorcycles, and come across a '03 RC 51 with 15,000, like 400 and something original miles on it, like an hour and a half away. So yeah, I sent the guy a text, and one thing led to another, and I ended up with a '03 RC 51 in my garage. So
well, the nice thing is the 848 will always be there when you have more cash to fix it.
when I have more cash to fix it, that's right, man. I miss that bike. That bike is such a sweet bike. That 848 is for sure. So what do you do for a living, Lewis?
I've pretty much been in motorsports industry most of my career. I work for actually we're probably the largest motorsports dealer in Canada. Um, but if you look on the on the map of Canada, most of the population is the bottom within 100 miles of the U.S. border. That's where the majority of the population is. We sell to everything else. So we've got a massive territory, and including into Alaska now. So I've made a few trips to Alaska in the last year. So that's been interesting.
How
And
beautiful
yeah,
is
we've got
Alaska?
it's scenic. It's especially when you get into Anchorage, it really is like it really is the postcard. The I've been in the rural, less scenic areas as well, but it is an experience. So yeah,
Guaranteed.
I've traveled all over the north. It's seen some interesting places. Like
I bet you have.
most of the communities we go to are going to be very small, 200 to 5,000 is a big city, but mostly 200 to under 1,000 population, and no roads, fly in only, and yeah, so it's pretty some remote places. So yeah, so we sell Yamaha, Honda, and Skidoo, so that keeps us pretty busy.
I guarantee it does. That's one thing I've never rode was a snowmobile. I would love to ride one time. They looks like they're so much fun.
They're a lot of fun. I don't ride often myself anymore. I used to, but they are fun.
Is it cold out there where you are right now?
Not right now. It's
Oh,
I mean, I don't know what the exact equation is, but it's probably in the 80s of
okay.
Fahrenheit terms.
Yeah, it's like 5 million degrees here.
Yeah, we don't get quite that hot, but we've actually have had some major heat. There's been we've had some like very dry, very hot weather. There's been forest fires all over. It's actually cooled down and started to rain. This in all through June, but May was unbearably hot for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it seems like winters are shorter and the summers are it's like it's getting backwards kind of in a way, which is kind of crazy. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Jack racing, you spend a lot of your time obviously working at the dealership and then traveling all the time with Jack, taking them to all the tracks and there. How far do you guys travel for the season out there?
For our season, eh, so our so we've got a local track about an hour and a half from me. We've got Brainerd International Raceway, so we ride with the CRA. We've been riding with them ever since Jack's been old enough to, and that's about a 6 hour drive from me. So that one's pretty reasonable. Those would be the two closest. And then after that, it's going to get into probably 13 hours and up. The good thing is, being where we are, we're right in the middle of the country, so the furthest away tracks are all about 24 hours. Um, and that gets us into the Barbers and Road Atlantas and things like that. Not that we've been there recently, but we're about a maximum of 24 hours.
Yeah, that's so it's 14 hours from me to Wisconsin for my
Yeah,
daughter.
so
Yeah,
you would be another 8 hours or so north, at a northwest of Wisconsin,
yeah,
depending on where you are, obviously.
yeah.
But Minneapolis is about 8 hours from me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's one issue, with us being here in the United States is just so big, right? And the cost of travel is just so much, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and so we're lucky that we're lucky Brainerd is as close as it is. It's it's by unfortunately Moto America is not going there anymore. Virginia International Raceway took that date, I think. Um, but yeah, we're lucky that we have a Moto America level track within a reasonable drive. I really, for those we don't even need to take time off work. We can go after work and be home late Sunday night. So it makes it doable.
Oh, for sure. And you already work in the industry, so they already know, right? They're like, I need this time off. Okay, sure, no problem.
Yeah, I've been there long enough that I can take the holidays that I need. So it's
It
there's
makes it
some it's nice
easy.
to have that
Yeah.
flexibility.
Yeah, absolutely, it does, and you need that being a racer dad, traveling to the races, and you need that time off. That's one side of the sport people don't see. They just show up to the races, but they don't know that you got off that Thursday and hit the track and was on the road for 12, 14 hours, showed up, got 5 hours of sleep, wake up, make sure the bike's passing tech, which I'm pretty sure you already did before you showed up, but all the little things and then getting the tech and setting up and yeah, then spending all day out in the heat and all that good stuff and between the sessions and making the
Yeah,
food.
Yeah, it's usually a go. It's go right from the time we leave till the time we get home. There's not a whole lot of rest in between. This coming for the weekend, not this coming weekend, the next one is our next CRA round, and my wife and I are going to drive out early and take our time, get everything set up, and Jack's going to meet us after work. So kind of looking forward to that, and not having to push quite as hard.
Yeah, it's I don't want to say it's a job, but it is and I don't even want to say it's work, but it's a lot of fun, but there's a lot that goes into it, especially the driving, setting up hot pit, cold pit, running back and forth, taking the tires, tire stickers, blah 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 blah, all that good stuff that goes with it. Yeah, it's a big commitment for sure,
Yep, it
100%.
is.
Yeah, and it's
It is.
beautiful.
And
So, sorry, go ahead, Lewis.
no, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
So, everybody knows I've been involved with Bison for the past 2 years, and they're absolutely freaking amazing. And it's 2025, people. Don't buy an off the rack suit. Go to bisontrack.com, get you a full custom suit. I love mine. I see Lewis right here with the Bison sweatshirt on. There it is, right? So,
Yeah.
how did you guys meet up with Robert and Tosh? How did that whole thing come together?
So we'll back up Jack's career a little bit. So in 2014 was his first. Or sorry, 2021 was his first year. He was 14, and at that time he hadn't ridden on any big tracks. He had just been riding minis. We wanted to get him on a bigger track. Our local club, the Manitoba Road Racing Association, they they changed the rules when he was 14 to allow him to ride. It was previously 16, and simply because no one had ever challenged it, there was never a reason to change it. Once Jack came along, everyone knew him already, and they knew he was riding minis, and he was a fairly quick kid on mini bikes. So everyone wanted to see him out there on a bigger bike. So that's the year we had gotten him the 125. Anyway, fast forward 1 year. The following year, we had signed up for that for the North America Talent Cup, and Bison was the leather the spec leather manufacturer for the series. So that's where it really started with us. We got the Bison or the Talent Cup suit, and then the next year, well, we need a new suit, so we kept in communication with them, and yeah, it's now I think we're on year 4 with them. I think we've probably had 5-6 suits made now, and I've got a new one coming pretty soon. That's kind of cool. It's pretty unique. I'm kind of looking forward to being able to show it. But I was crossing my fingers we'd have it for our next Brainerd weekend, but I'm thinking it's unlikely, which is fine because our current suit's perfectly okay.
I love it. Yeah, I can't wait to see the suit. Now you got me intrigued. I can't wait to
Yeah,
see
I'll
it.
shoot you. I'll shoot you a picture.
Yeah. You got to. Yeah, love it. I love it. Yeah. So for all the other racer dads out there that are just getting into the sport with their little ones, what advice would you give to them?
I'm sorry. It
Did
broke
I
up
break
there.
up?
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if that was you or I.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give to the dads that are getting their kids into the sport right now?
As far as just let them ride. You don't need you don't. There's no reason to really push them to get out of their comfort zone. Not until they've got some commitment that they want to do this. Um, like with my kids, I had 2 kids riding. My younger one kind of gave it up when he was probably 9 years old. He just lost interest in it, which is fine. He's got other hobbies. And we don't push him into any of those either. But yeah, with Jack, we never had to push him. It was always his choice whether we were going to the track or not. And even, really, there's always been a lot of people wanting to help him, um, with his riding, and offering tips, and offering, some coaching. And he's always taken well to it, probably better than you would from dad. But yeah, I think, and yeah, and no reason to skip steps. To just be patient. They'll get there.
Yeah,
If
it's
they want to be there, they'll get there.
100%. There's a lot to take away from that, and you're right. You don't ever force your kids. Let them prove to you that they want it really bad, right? And let them do their own thing. And it's funny you said, because I do the same. Me and Rossi do the same thing. I'll be like, dude, whatever it is, I'll tell him, and he'll just kind of look at me, Lewis, and be like, oh, okay, I got this. I'm like, all right. And then let's say, Lewis, you can come by and be like, Rossi, blah 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 blah. Said it's the same exact thing I said, and he would absolutely listen to you, right? And versus Daddy over here. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. And and as often as I can, I try to, yeah, now he's at the level where I don't have to. I think he does. He nods and agrees, just to, to get me off his back. But yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of advice that I can give him as far as his riding anymore. Um, he's got it pretty figured out. He's had some help from a lot of people, that are far superior in riding skill and abilities than I've ever been. So it helps coming from those types of people and riders.
110%. It's yeah, I feel like, just I'm just talking dads in general, right? That we want to give them all the advice and not let them do the same mistakes we make, right? We want them to be better than we are in every shape, form, and fashion. And we try to and they see it in that way, I think, sometimes, right? Where other people, they'll give them the same advice. It just sits with them and it hits them in a different way,
Yeah,
if that makes sense, and I'm
yeah,
okay with that, right? It's just part of life and what it is. So yeah, it's a fun. I don't want to say game, but man, it's such a beautiful journey of life to have kids. They teach you so much, and it's um, you see everything different in a different light, in a different. The world's different. I'll say that when you have kids, you know what I'm saying. I only got
yeah,
one,
for
so
sure. Yeah,
and he's spoiled too. People
I can imagine.
spoiled, like bro,
Both
y'all have
both
no
of our
idea.
both of ours are spoiled.
I know they are.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
what?
love it. Um, Matt says, Lewis, such a legend. Thank you for giving us Jack. Matt, I agree. 110%.
Yeah, Matt's another local from our local club. And has always been genuinely nice and encouraging to Jack. So, and as has everyone else. Um, so Jack's been able to hang with those guys for a long time. So it's
I
been
love it.
it's fun to see.
Do you guys know Tony Sharpless?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We met her. I think we watched the podcast he had with her as well. Yeah, she's on the quite a ways further east. She's, in near the Toronto area. I'm not sure exactly where she is, but she's in Ontario somewhere. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, they're like 24 hours away from us. She's closer to the Canadian racetracks than we are.
Yeah. Yeah. She's awesome what she's doing for the sport too. What a legend
Yeah,
she is.
yeah, she's doing great getting the kids going. So, and that's actually how, not her program, but that really is how we got into riding on pavement. We had a Honda 50. We rode it around in the yard, and that was really that was the extent of it. And Jack was never interested in hockey or any, or any other stick and ball sports. We tried. We never really tried hockey. Never showed any interest, but we tried every other one and just never liked doing any of it. And we've got a a club here called Manitoba Mini Riders, and they only run in winter at an indoor go kart track. So every Saturday morning, actually for at that time it was every Saturday and Sunday morning, we'd get up at 6 in the morning and drive to the city. Like we're about a half hour outside the city, so we drive to the city and he'd ride his mini bike for a couple hours, and he still rides there once in a while just just to say he did. But yeah, that's really where we got our start on pavement is indoors, and
I
it
love
was
it.
something to do in winter.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was more indoor kart tracks like that. You know, kid that was available all around the country where
Yep.
kids could just show up and parents and ride because that's kids. I mean, even adults learn so much. That's why I love mini moto racing. Whether it's a Z50, a Grom 125, whatever, they're it's the most fun you're ever gonna have on two wheels, and they teach you so much.
Yeah, so I think that's where he learned the fundamentals and how to figure out lines and things like that. So he's I couldn't imagine how many laps he's gotten at in that on that little kart track. Yeah, I think I had calculated it once, like a few years into it, and just based on average laps per weekend, and it was like 80,000 laps or something back then. So it's outrageous.
Oh
So
man, I love it. I love it.
there's no doubt. It explains why he's still pretty quick in there.
100%. Well, track knowledge. 100%. Gene says, I remember the day Lewis came home and confessed he couldn't keep up with Jack anymore.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That the being able to ride minis with the kids didn't last. Like I think the first year they were both racing outdoor on mini bikes. Um, the I had gotten a mini bike too, thinking, oh, I'll be able to ride with them. Well, that didn't last. Like I think Jack was probably 11, and I had nothing for him. Um, so at that time, that's kind of when I transitioned from a rider to full time race dad. That's really when I stopped riding altogether. So that would have been like 2017 ish, I guess.
Yeah. You never take Jack's bike out for a lap
I haven't. It's been so long now. I don't. I'm not sure I'd know what to do. Um, but I don't know. Maybe one of these days at our local track. So one of Jack's bikes that we use in Arma is an F3 Honda. So right up my alley as far as the bikes I would have ridden back then. Um, so if there was a bike that I would ride, it would probably be that one, just because it's be similar to what I would have had back then.
I love it. I love it. Lewis, I freaking love it. It's your story is absolutely amazing, and so is your family, right? Jack is yeah, and I think I met your other son too. I think he come in after the podcast. I said hi to him, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
you think he would have come by and
Yeah,
made an appearance?
yeah, I'm pretty
He and
sure.
my his mom and my wife were at a uh, football game tonight. So
Nice.
Jen's commenting from her phone live from the football stadium.
I love it. And who come up with the idea of the bike Jack's on now, the R7
Um,
hybrid?
so that so I came up with, or I thought of it. So I have an R6 here. We had the R7. Um, he kind of hit the. I mean, I'm sure there are people that could go faster on the R7, but I felt he wasn't really learning anything anymore. We were stuck on similar lap times. So we felt it was time to upgrade, and we thought about, should we just go to an R6, and then I started doing some measuring and realized that an R6 or an R7 motor uh, might fit in an R6 chassis. It seemed like there was a ton of room. And so I started looking into it, and then I realized it's been done. So I got in touch with a couple people that have done it, and was put in touch with people who've built the bracket. So I don't claim to have come up with the concept. I put it together with existing existing parts. Um, I mean, it was still a lot of work, a lot of fabrication. That the idea from that was just, how do I build a better lightweight bike?
And it turned out to be a total masterclass.
It's worked really well. So the first weekend on it, he ran in practice, and it was working well. It it had a couple issues that I wasn't comfortable with, and I figured I'd rather park it than let him keep going. So we actually ran. So as it turns out, our Honda F3 is legal for all the same classes, or several of the same classes. So I'm like, we have another bike. Let's just ride that and make sure that this one's good. So went through it and fixed the concerns I had, and then the following or a couple weeks after, we took it to Arma as well. You know, and he rode it there and had a great time on it. He was pretty quick on it, with the way the rules are. Hey, dude.
What is up? Look who Rossi. What are you doing, boy?
What are you doing?
I'm having a good chat with my buddy Lewis.
I know your camera has done.
Oh man, my cameras don't went haywire. Hang on.
Why are you focusing
All right, there you go.
on? Why did you?
My
Wait,
camera
hold on, move
haywire.
out the way. No.
It's tracking me.
Focus on me. Yeah.
This guy right here.
Oh yeah.
Just barging in.
Yeah, just look. With his pajamas on, Christmas pajamas at that.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Is that like one? Is that one piece pajamas?
Is that a one piece? No, that's not his one piece. He loves his
No.
one piece.
Oh.
No, he is. Yeah, he loves his one piece. Hang on, let me see if I can get my camera to come back over here and follow me. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Ha! I got it to follow me back.
I love this thing. So cool.
Yeah, it's just so I got this new electric scooter, right? And I was like, man, it has a steering stick. The camera went all crazy. It has a steering stabilizer on it. This thing will do 50 miles an hour. It's totally
Yeah,
insane.
that's scary.
Dude, it's bro. It will straight. I'm lost for words because it's a total badass scooter. Comes with a steering stabilizer. So I was like, I got an Owens one at home. I'll just throw it on it.
So you'd fit that on.
Right? No, I can't because the one that's on it's longer.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't have the turning radius.
Yeah.
You can.
It was a good thought. What do you mean? I'm gonna sell it. I think I'm pretty sure that's for an R6.
Don't you have
Looks
that?
about right.
I
No,
thought you had that.
no, I didn't have an R6. No,
Don't you have one?
no, I got an RC51, and then and then you got your dirt bike.
That we're gonna ride soon.
And I gave him an old electric scooter, Lewis. So we go out here and mob the neighborhood at night. They got headlights and all that on us. We'll be out there just tearing the neighborhood on and just ride around having fun. Ain't that right?
Yeah, we got just a slower, smaller e-scooter, but it's handy as a pit bike. It doesn't take up a lot of space in the vehicle, so it's kind of handy.
Dude, I love it because you just fold it and throw it in the back of the car.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you don't need a trailer. You don't need gas. You don't need none of that. You just bring a charger and plug it in and let her eat.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Listen, Lewis, this has been a lot of fun, man. I want to transition into where we get to know you away from, the racetrack and all that good stuff.
That doesn't happen very often.
I know it don't. So this is going to be a lot of fun. What's up, buddy? Here, look, check this out. Oh, you've been doing it. If you take and move this clicker, it gets softer and harder. Yeah, see.
Make it softer.
You just click it like this.
How soft is it gonna be?
Well, hang on. Well,
That's
that's hard. Yeah, you
Hold on, let me
can't.
try to press that.
Oh my god. Are you a coffee drinker, Lewis?
No.
What the heck?
Everyone else in the family is. I just never started with it, so
How did you do that?
I'm listening. Click this.
I stick to the Red Bulls,
Make it
and that's
soft.
about it.
You do it. Red Bull. If
If
I
I
drink
need
Red,
caffeine, it's Red Bull.
it's got to be sugar free.
Yeah,
It's
the
done.
regular is too sweet.
I looked at the sugar content and I was like, yeah, I'm going sugar free, 110%.
Oh yeah.
If you had a dream bike, what would be your dream bike, Lewis? You got to have one. There's one out there. You're like, I'd love to have one day. Whether it's a paperweight in my garage, I can just polish her up, fire up, listen to her home, whatever.
You know what? Jeez.
I'm gonna play
Probably
some.
like probably a TZ250 or something like that to not to ride, but just to hang in a garage. Yeah, I think something like that. It's probably one of the only bikes I ever regret selling is I had a Honda RS 250, and and back then they weren't worth a whole lot, and I think I sold it for like 6 grand Canadian or something. It's probably worth 30 now. So in the condition it was, it's probably the only bike I ever regret selling. If I could have one back, probably be that one, just so I could sell it again, but actually do well with it on my dollar wise. Yeah, I don't know. Because I haven't been into street bikes for a long time. It would probably be a cool race bike to just hang on to.
Oh, 110%. I mean, couldn't pick a better bike. An RS 250. What a beautiful machine.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at where bikes are now with the aerodynamics, you're like, now they're, it's normal, right? I remember when they first started coming out, I was like, I'm not a fan. I'm still not a fan. I'm not gonna lie. You look back, even Moto 3 and the lower classes, they don't have fair, the big wings on them. They're so beautiful. The lines and
Yeah,
the shapes, and you put all these anomalies on it, and it just looks, I don't know, like a fish, some type of, I don't know.
it's they're definitely just designed to be fast. There's no concern about what they look like other than making sure their sponsors logos are all in the right spots. That's
That's
all that
it.
matters.
That's it.
But hey, that's where we're at in the current in those championships now. So you got to
100%.
appreciate the technology.
You got to. Tell us something we don't know about you.
Oh, jeez. I don't even know where to start. Uh,
Jen?
yeah. She's. I don't know if she's actually listening or just commenting. I'm sure it's pretty loud there. Geez, something I don't know about me. I, I guess career-wise, I've pretty much been in motorsports my my whole uh, my whole career. I worked for Polaris basically right out of high school. We had a Canadian head office just here in Winnipeg. Um, so I would have been probably about 20, and I guess I was like I was the only one with any motorcycle experience. So by default, I was the Victory motorcycle guy. When they started importing him into Canada. So that was kind of cool.
That, yeah, Indians, they're nice bikes. They really are. I just texted,
They've come a long way.
yeah, I just
The
texted my wife. I was like, my door's open. Will you please come shut my door, girl?
oh
But they have. You're
my
right.
the first ones were definitely very very rough around the edges, and
Come on.
I but if they've come a long way. Um, when I compare, I remember the difference between like a 1999 model and a 2005, where they started to really work on getting things polished and 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 were able to mass produce them, and they did a pretty good job. So they were pretty reliable, and they worked well.
And yeah, they're just getting better and better. They're beautiful machines. They sound good. Yeah. Indian. I remember in Phoenix, I went to an Indian dealer. Um, and up in the rafters. It was a decent sized shop. It was a single showroom floor, but up in the rafters they had like old school steam powered bikes. Oh man, it was really really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool to see history and old machines like that.
Well, one of my goals this year is like we're planning on going to Barber for the ARMA finals, and I've got to make it to that museum this year. The last time we were there, somehow we managed to be there for a weekend and didn't set foot in the museum. So this year I'm doing it, or when we go.
I want to. When are y'all going to Barber?
ARMA final, I believe it's the first weekend in October.
I'm gonna try to make it. I want to go. That's Vintage Fest, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
want to go. I want to go so bad. I've heard nothing about great things. It says the best race to go to all season
What?
is
Here.
I don't know.
Mustard.
I guess you let them out. I don't know.
Come on, go. Get out of here.
My cat came in the room.
Get out.
Yeah, Mid Ohio and yeah, Barber. They say it's
Yeah, it sounds like those are the
best
two
out
for
nowhere.
vintage stuff. But they have some more modern class uh uh more modern classes. So the way the way their rule works, or their rules work, is in order to qualify for Barber, we have to compete and finish at least two races at two other events. So we did Hastings, Nebraska, and Jack actually won a couple times there on the Honda. And we're planning on going to Blackhawk, which is in Illinois. So we're planning on doing that as our second event, and then as long as we finish, we should be in for Barber. So looking forward to that. And
Absolutely. I'm gonna try to
so
make
we're
it.
gonna ride our bike. Yeah, we're gonna ride our bike, and then we also might be riding. A friend of ours has a nice YZF 750, like early 90s YZF 750. That's all race prepped, and so Jack actually did ride it at Hastings just to get a little bit of a feel for it, and yeah, so we're planning on riding it in Barber as well.
I
So we'll
love
have
it.
the Honda and Yamaha, so a couple of you know vintage bikes by Jack standards, but they're still pretty capable.
Super cool by dad standards, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah, dude. How cool is that? YZF 750. What a beautiful machine.
yeah. It's a pretty sweet bike.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Delta box. True Delta box. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, I love
what
it.
what what do they call the motors? Oh, Genesis. There, the 5 valve
Genesis.
motors.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
5 valve motors. Yep. Yep.
So,
That's awesome. Um, what's your worst habit?
uh, probably the gallons of soda that I drink, but yeah, I would say that's probably the biggest issue.
Uh yeah, my son drinks a lot. So does my wife. I don't. I didn't grow up drinking a lot of soda or sweet tea or any of that. My ADHD, they wanted to put me on Ritalin. My parents were like, absolutely not. So they cut out a lot of as much sugar and stuff as they could. Don't get me wrong, I still got it every once in a while, but it
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't a thing for me. So,
yeah, yeah.
um,
Jack was an ADHD kid as well.
yeah,
Um, so we had to watch what he drank, and he's kind of outgrown it now, but or at least able to control it. But
yeah,
yeah, back in the day,
yeah. Give him some sugar. I'm already bouncing off the wall. Give me some sugar. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
three
exactly.
times. Bah, 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 bah. Yeah. Can you just sit still? I'm like, what's sitting still? Let's go. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm still like that. Absolutely. Uh, everybody knows I'm big into audiobooks. Matter of fact, I'm listening to Change Your Mind, Change Your Diet. It's a really good book. It's about eating healthy and what you put in your body and all that good stuff. Do you listen to any audiobooks or read?
Not very often. Definitely, I read very little, other than short articles and magazines and short stories and things like that. As far as audiobooks, I haven't done a ton of them. I did do the John Hopkins ones based on your recommendation, and yeah, that was definitely a good one. I've also recommended it to a few people. Like it's yeah, that's definitely worth the listen.
100%. Yeah. Jeff says, "Hey Lewis, nice to see you. It's been a while. Great job and good luck."
See you around, Jeff.
Absolutely. And then my buddy, what is up, Jason Doss? What's up, guys? Holla. Jason's absolutely amazing. I see him at VR. He was at VR on Azure weekend. I was there two weekends ago.
Okay.
Um, yeah, he races an R7. Just picked up a brand new R9, which is everybody's bike to go to now, right?
It's yeah, maybe that's what we'll have to invest in a couple years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's definitely a nice bike. I've seen one in real life one time, and it's my buddy Anthony had one at Cycle Jam at Road Atlanta. I went 2 weeks after the Moto America round, black, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And oh, it was beautiful. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, I haven't seen one in person. But they look like they're working pretty well on the track, so maybe we'll save our
Absolutely.
pennies.
Ask you, what is this?
What? That is to remove valve stems. What? Oop, oop.
Stems.
Valve stems in your tire. That's what keeps the air. in
We
your
need
tire.
to take this child lock out of mom's car.
No, we need the child lock on with you
No,
in the car.
It's only one door. It's only one door.
Okay, well, if you open up the doors, it's got a little switch. You just switch it.
No, you need to take off the little rubber piece, and you need a flathead screwdriver. And
Okay.
Stick it in there.
I'll do what I. You little punk. I'll do it after my. I'm gonna beat him up after this, Louis. You remember these days?
Well
don't
deserved.
you?
I have a question to ask you.
What? Ask me.
Do you
Do I what? You already know what this is gonna relate to.
Hello. Wait,
What?
I'm Asian, okay?
You're Asian.
Wait.
What?
Wait.
Louis, I don't even know what's going on.
Hello.
Jason
Oh,
says,
Jason.
"Man, rode 61 miles. All I can say is, wow, it handles like a dream out the box."
Yeah,
Cool.
I can
can't wait to
imagine.
get a full report, Jason. His is
Yeah.
blue. He got the blue one.
Hello. Do you
Yeah, I'm
have-
looking forward to maybe we'll scoop one of those up once parts are available for them.
Hello. I
What is wrong with him?
Hello. Do you have $8?
A Nala Dala. What are you talking about?
Hello.
I'm sorry, Louis. Oh my god, you're hilarious. Spicy food, bro. Are you a spicy food guy?
I can take it or leave it. I wouldn't go out of my way to eat excessively spicy. I don't mind a little bit.
I love spice. Everybody knows I love spice.
You have
Um, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Neither.
He said neither.
I,
Right?
Get out.
He said podcast is over. Bam.
that's fair enough. I realize there's some big fans of both, but no, I don't think I've ever watched more than a few minutes of either.
Oh my god. What sports did you play growing up?
Ew,
I don't even think I really. I mean, when I was younger, probably like most kids, a little bit of soccer and baseball. That would have been about it. I never played hockey. Um, I I don't think I could even skate anymore. My younger kid likes to make fun of me about that. Um, I probably shot a few golf balls back then too, but my My younger kid actually has decided he wants to play golf, so I've gone with him a few times already this year. So
Tiger Woods, baby, let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Well, he's already significantly
Better than me.
better than I am, but that's not hard to beat. But yeah, that's fun. It's good to get out.
Love it. It is, man. It's absolutely good to get out. Let me ask you this, Luce. If you could travel back to any era of time, where would you travel back to?
I don't know. It's kind of having fun with the last few years. Like it's. I mean, selfishly, I guess early 20s, but it's pretty cool to see your own children succeed.
Absolutely. I love you. You know that?
Yeah, look, listen, everybody be quiet. ASMR. Does it sound good?
It sounds
Stop following
it
me.
sounds just like it sounds to you. I'm confused. Anyway.
Do you have $9?
Do I have nine? Yeah, I got $9. Can you have it? Yes.
Again?
And shut the door on your way out, please.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Love you.
Love you.
It
Yeah,
costs
Jack
No,
still says he
fine.
wants to
I
even
just I'll vacuum
even
the
after
entire house.
rethinking that question, he still wants to go back to the time of the dinosaurs.
yeah,
Wait.
right. That would be cool though. Go back to the sound of the dinosaurs. That would be kind of cool era.
What?
Yeah. What do you mean what?
I mean, it would be cool, but dang.
Well, you ain't got PlayStation, Xbox.
No, I'm gonna die in like 7 seconds for Tyrannosaurus, the long neck one.
He was a vegetable eater.
Never mind. The one. Frick!
He said frick.
The one that T-Rex. You know it doesn't go roar. It actually makes like a whale noise.
It's one of them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Look at Fiona. Here,
If
hold
you
on.
could sit down and have dinner with any historical person, who would it be?
Benjamin Frank Tips. All right, love you. Thank you. Come here, Fiona.
Who I don't know. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I've never really had like the celebrity crush or anything like that. Like I don't know, probably some old racer from the 70s or something.
Barry Sheen.
Sure.
He said, "Sure, I love it. Why not?"
I'm sure he'd have stories.
I'm sure he did have some stories. If you could have one superpower, what superpower would you have?
Uh uh the ability to travel back in time to correct mistakes, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be cool. Travel back in time. I think I'd probably do teleportation because I can be like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
that would
Lewis,
save some
I'm on my
travel time.
way." Boom, there it is, and I just show
Yeah.
up at the house. We can hang out. And boom, I just come back home.
Yeah, I've done a lot of
Yeah.
travel over the years. Yeah, getting there quick would be nice.
Would be nice, wouldn't it? Absolutely. What, Bubba? What's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh, wouldn't catch me dead singing karaoke.
No.
No, not a chance.
Oh my god.
The amount of substances that would allow that would probably kill me.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. Do you like to cook?
I wouldn't say I like it, but I don't mind doing it. My wife won't agree with this, but I think we split the cooking duties pretty close to 50-50. I'll give her the nod that she does a little bit more than I do, but yeah, I think we split the cooking duties pretty fairly equally. She'll disagree, but she won't tell you that I don't do any of it.
I do most of the cooking in my house. My wife makes a couple things. But other than that, yeah, I would yeah, it's all me. It's all me,
Yeah.
but I love it. I like to cook. I get it from my mom. Dude, if you had your own private track day and you can invite any three people to your track day, dead or alive, who's coming?
I don't know. I wouldn't be the one riding, so I'd probably let my kid pick his whoever he wanted to ride with. He'd probably pick some, some MotoGP guy or some of his buddies. If I was doing it, if I had a private track day, I wouldn't waste it on myself.
Do you yourself watch MotoGP or World Superbike, BSP or
I
anything?
I watch MotoGP as much as I can. It's because their schedule is relatively consistent. It's easy to catch it, every Saturday morning. For us, it's their sprint race Saturday morning at 8, and the MotoGP Sunday at 7. So we don't have to really plan around it. You can watch it and then get on with your day. Um, World Superbike's a lot more difficult to watch just because it's all over the clock. Um, I watch Moto America when especially during the summer. It's a little tougher, especially when we're at the track and that. But I catch as much as I can, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. I watch. There's Moto America's at the Ridge this weekend, and then
Yeah,
MotoGP's
that's
at
that's an
Assen.
amazing track.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely on the bucket list of places we'd like to go back to.
yeah. I've never been. I would love to go to the Ridge one time. It is a
Ironically, yeah, it's an amazing track. Ironically, we were at work today. I was looking up. We've had some issues, unrelated, but we've had some issues with people making fake accounts, like trying to copy our business our business account on Facebook, and there happens to be a company with the same business name as us. It looks like they're 100% legit, but they're in Shelton, Washington. So it's kind of ironic that they're there this weekend.
right. Yeah, that's crazy. The whole people stealing people's Facebook, and it's just
Oh,
and the whole
it's
AI
endless.
thing now. It's like, yeah, the world's definitely a different place than it was
Yeah.
when me and you were growing up,
Yeah,
Lewis.
it is, and Facebook won't do anything about it. You can report it all day. They don't. They
They
don't
don't
pull
do shit.
anything,
Nah, they don't care. They really don't.
especially
Yeah,
if it's someone paying.
facts. I didn't even know you could sell your Instagram account. People were buying your accounts and stuff. I was like, what? I learned a
Yeah,
lot from
I'm sure.
my 12-year-old. I'm like, you can do that? Yeah, Dad, you ain't in the loop. I'm like, no, I'm not in the same loop you are, apparently. It's hilarious. Uh, are you watching any cool TV shows on Netflix or Apple TV or anything you can recommend?
Nah, not really. I guess we don't watch a ton of TV. It's embarrassing to say this. The last series we watched, we just finished it a couple weeks ago, but was lost. Like 25-year-old series, but we just finally got to it. That's the last series I watched. Um, I'm all in if you got recommendations for another series that you can, you know, get just watch and not have to overthink.
I the one that I just got done watching is Fallout. Man, what a great show. Fallout's really good.
Is that a
Um
Netflix or
no,
Amazon or?
that Amazon. Yeah, it's on Amazon. But I'll send you a couple recommendations of some TV
Sure.
series I've been watching that was, yeah, pretty good for sure. Yeah, are you a superstitious guy?
Not really.
No?
No, I just take it as it comes. No, not. I would say probably not at all.
Yeah, I'm not neither. I used to be, and then I was like, because life is such a mental game, racing's such a mental game. I'm like, man, it's just a stupid barrier I'm putting up in my mind, right? And because then it's like, well, I should have done this. I didn't do this, and this is why, because I didn't do that. That's not the case at all, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, I guess I grew up out of that, so to speak.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Outgrew it. Yeah, yeah.
Jason Bartlett, what is up, my man? He says, "Hey, Lewis. Hey, Chris. What is up?"
Hey, Jason. Yeah. So Jason's boy. Yeah, I guess Jason and I have that in common. We're the the boys are riding, and Owen would be in essentially where Jack was a couple years ago, just getting started with CRA, and looks like he's doing pretty well. So looking forward to
Yeah.
seeing him progress.
Oh yeah, Owen's absolutely fast. He's amazing. So is his dad, Jason. So thanks for
Yeah.
joining, Jason. Podcast. What podcast do you listen to?
I haven't done a ton. I've kind of. I don't think that I've got if anything, it would be I would listen to, like, if we're driving, I'll sometimes throw on you know maybe murder mysteries or unsolved cases, just stuff like that, just to change it up from music. Um, Appreciate everything you've done. I'll scroll through the names and, I know that guy. I'll listen to that one. Um, I don't have a go-to. I wouldn't say I have a go-to one. I kind of just
Wing it.
whatever seems to be the mood. Sometimes I'll just even base it off what the top 10 or top 20 and grab something from that.
Yeah, you
But
sound like
usually
my wife.
if I'm listening, it's while driving.
Yeah, my wife. I listen to. Yeah, while I drive, I listen to podcasts, especially traveling to like Atlanta too. So I feel lucky where I'm at. Like, okay, I feel like where I'm at in Virginia, even though I don't like Virginia. That VIR is an hour and like 30, 40 minutes away, depending on traffic.
Mhm.
Atlanta is 6 hours, Jersey 6 hours, Mid Ohio is 6 hours, Barber 7 hours. Daytona's
Yeah,
2
that's kind of right in the heart of all
right in the
these
heart of it.
awesome
Yeah.
tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
wouldn't have guessed they would have all been that close to you.
you know,
But yeah, Atlanta's nice. We've been there, and yeah, Barber's another one. So that was on the go back to bucket list, and so we're doing it this fall.
I love
So
it.
looking
I love
forward
it.
to
I
that
hope
one.
I can make it. I hope I can make the Barber. That's my goal. So we'll see. We'll see if it happens.
Yeah, and going back to what their qualifying rules for that are, as long as we can get through Blackhawk in good shape, we'll be in for Barber. So we'll start planning on accommodations and things like that once we get through Blackhawk.
You will. Jack will go out there and do
Oh,
what
I'm
Jack
sure he'll
does
be
best.
fine.
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Uh,
He's
do you have any hidden talents we don't know?
none at all.
No.
If anything, I'm technically, an office an office guy, but I guess I'm fairly decent on the mechanical side of motorcycles, even though I don't do it for a living. So
What?
that,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
What?
I guess that would
Uh,
be the talent not everyone knows about.
is you're a specialist at motorcycles? I love it. If you was to, what was the last song you listened to in your phone?
I don't even know, something 90s. I'm sure it was something 90s, possibly something from a Canadian band. Let's
I love it. Oh, I love it. What's on your bucket list, bro? Like, do you have a bucket list? And if so, what's on it?
uh, I don't know. Not really. I never.
You don't have anything on your bucket list, Lewis? Nothing at all. Like, dude, I want to go to the TT. That's absolutely on my bucket list.
We yeah. Jack says Nickelback. He's full of crap. I wouldn't. Um, no, I would have to say, if it came down to just the music Jack's listened to, I would have to say I'm embarrassed to be his father. Just based on his music. I mean, he makes up for it in other ways, but man, he makes it hard.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I don't know. Bucket list. I mean, I'll go to we'll go to MotoGP in Texas again. I don't know. I'm not terribly interested in going overseas. I mean, I would do it if the opportunity came up, but I travel a lot for work as well, so the novelty of getting on a plane is,
You're like, yeah,
it's kind of old.
yeah, yeah. I've flown my whole life too. It's convenient, you know, because you get there quick. It's not as cheap as it used to be. Let's just be honest. Yeah, it's done a lot of traveling too. I like to travel though. I like to see the world and you know visit places that I've never been before. Life's so short, you know. It's and it goes by so quick. I remember, you know, being Rossi's age, like, oh dude, I got my mom's 40 or whatever she was, and I was like, dude, I got all the time in the world. Now I'm 40 and I'm like, where'd the time go? These past 12 years went by so fast.
Yeah, yeah, it goes fast. I I mean, I enjoy traveling. I think if it was my choice, I would prefer prefer road trips, but it's not my wife's preference, so we have to find middle ground there.
It's always a compromise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like we're the barber trip we're planning on taking an extra couple days, and I mean there's tons of things to see between there and here. It's 20 it's I don't know 1,600 miles, so lots to see between here and there. Um, yeah, even the last the armor on that we had done uh, in Hastings, took a little bit of a detour home and went through like the Black Hills and stuff. Um, saw a little bit of scenery and did a little bit of the tourist thing. Normally it's just drive straight there and you know sometimes overnight, so you don't see any of it. So
Yeah.
I'll try and make a little bit of an effort to do some tourist stuff this year.
It sounds like a fun road trip coming up.
Yeah, I mean, well, the next one's just Brainerd, so that one's that one we've done many times. There's nothing we haven't seen, but just where that's located and where we are, we can pretty much get there taking all these little side back roads. So eh, I wouldn't call it a super scenic drive, but you're in the bush the whole way.
Yeah, absolutely. What's one thing you can't live without?
Uh, well, couldn't live without vehicles, I guess. We rely on those quite a bit.
Nah, what's one
All,
thing
but
you
I will
can't?
just in case that I can't live.
Yeah, that you can't live without.
Uh, I'm gonna go with the cheesy line and say my family because
That's
they
not
might all be
cheesy.
listening. They might be listening here, so you got to make sure you say the right thing.
That's all right because we'll talk off camera. That's hilarious. Oh my god, we got Rob. Oh, dude, what is up, Rob? He said, "Now that guy is a legend." He's talking
Hey,
about
Rob.
you.
Yeah, yeah, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing CRA stuff for a couple of years, so we've known who the other was, but kind of introduced each other last year. Yeah, Rob's a great guy. He's been helping us out with Bridgestone tires. We've been on Bridgestones for this is going on 3 years now. And Rob's one of the distributors, so it's been yeah, it's been pretty good. We've been happy with the tires. And the Jack is super consistent on them, so I think we're sticking to what we know.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rob, you're an absolute legend, my friend. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Rob's definitely an asset to the sport. He gives us all.
He does. He really does. If you could swap lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
Wow, you got all these theoretical questions that I've never thought of. Swap lives for anyone for a day. You know what? I'm gonna swap with my kids so that for once I could be the fast guy because I've never been able to do that myself.
I love it. Good answer, man. Good answer. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I got one more for you, and then we'll end the podcast. Listen, if money was no object and you could have your own race team,
Yeah.
what class would it be? What's the manufacturer it would be? And who are the two current riders that you would put on?
Um, I would. Uh, I've never been loyal to necessarily loyal to any brand. I've had everything. If I could take any brand, right now I would probably go the Yamaha route just because they seem to be working everywhere. Um, and as far as class, where I'm at today, um, I think like my kid is close to being ready to ride one at a you know at a high enough level to not to not embarrass us. And yeah, as far as some other rider, I'd pick some old pro that would be able to tutor him along. We've met so many great riders. I don't know. It's impossible to say. Um, I would pick someone who would have value, not necessarily outright pace, but have value as as a mentor and a coach. And there's a lot of less known riders that are very very good at that. So
100% agree. 110% agree. There's so many legends out there in the sport, not all are household names, but they're absolute
exactly.
legends. Yeah, 110%. That some of them just don't have the backing, and that's in our sport. That's what it's all about, and you
Yeah,
know that
it
all
is.
too
Yeah.
well. It's all about money. All about going out speaking. I hate the word sponsorships. I call it friendships. Going out getting friendships, trying to persuade them to give you some money to go to the races and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah. How so? Real quick, but before we get off here, how do you personally go out and help find money to make it possible for you guys to do what you do?
We've been lucky. We've had some financial backers that have been behind us, since Jack's been on bigger bikes, and and have really always supported him and stepped up, and they get it. They get the just wanting to help make things happen. And guys that are not necessarily anything to do with the industry, um, and people that don't necessarily even want uh, don't necessarily want the recognition for it. They just like to be able to help. So we've been lucky. Jack's doing a good job of saving his pennies, and Jack's funded most of this year out of his own pocket. I mean, I help where I can, but he is he's doing well. He's putting in he's keeping his overtime dollars, and um, like this R6 R7 build, that was all on him. He funded that entire project, so it's and I think this year our schedule has been a little bit more reasonable. So it's been manageable. Um, but yeah, I mean, as far as money, it's the thing. One thing that everyone struggles with. If money was no object, we'd probably be at a Moto America at the Ridge this weekend. Like but it's just not realistic.
Yeah,
Um, so you could do a full season of club racing and through a couple other things in, or 1 or 2 weekends of pro stuff that you may not even get noticed at because you're going to be in the midfield or further back.
it makes it hard.
Yeah, it's tough, but
It
hey,
is.
But like we never got into this there was never any intention of, we're going to make it to the top. Let's just see where it
Have
goes
fun.
and have fun.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
when it stops being fun, we'll pull the plug. But and you know what, like there last season, at the beginning of the season, there, in not CRA, but we had some concerns, and Jack wasn't really happy with the way he was riding, and he wasn't feeling it, and he kind of said that he might be done after this year. And yeah, he's had a resurgence since then, and he's that was kind of, if anything, that might have been like the his rock bottom, feeling wise, about the whole thing. But since then he's kind of gone on a tear, and he's been solid. He doesn't, he's riding within his capabilities. We're not making mistakes. I'm not fixing stuff, every week. So it goes a long way, and he's enjoying it. That's the biggest thing, is we're having fun.
110%. You said the key word, fun.
Yeah.
100%.
And
So
yeah, if one day he decides it doesn't want to keep going, and I mean, even now, it not going to the track is still a realistic option if he chose to do that, but
yeah,
hasn't come up yet.
I love it. I love it. Keep at it, Jack, baby. You got this. Keep at it. I love it, dude. Let's go. So before I end the podcast, I got to give two special shout outs real quick. One is my buddy Justine Beamer. If you guys missed him on the podcast, I just got this shirt today in the mail. He sent it to me. Thank you so much. You guys go sign up, get some of the merch from him, help him out. Absolutely amazing. So thank you so much, Justine. You are absolutely amazing, my friend. The other one is my buddy Alan Grayson. He went to the TT. He lives in the UK. So he bought me a new TT shirt and sent it to me. So Alan, my friend, you will as well, is Proper Mega. Thank you so much. I love both my shirts. What a cool shirt, right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, I love it. Both of them, man. They're awesome. He actually said, Justine, he sent me the shirt. He gave me a sticker that I got right there. And then, it fell over there. And then he hand wrote me a note, dude. Absolutely amazing, man. Thank you so much. I love it.
That's pretty cool.
Dude, that's awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. But listen, thank you guys for watching this podcast. If you missed it, as soon as I end it, you can go back to my YouTube or my personal Facebook page and rewatch it. If you can wait till tomorrow, it'll be out everywhere. Thank you for everybody that watches it. If you guys and girls have not had a chance, please go hit that ding dong, ting tong, ping pong, all those bells and whistles you guys hit on social media. It helps me out a lot. Big shout out to Next Level Financial, bisontrack.com, Chef Eats. You guys can use the discount code Pin to Gas for 10% off. TST Industries. Everybody out there in the UK or worldwide can go to the clothingkings.co.uk and get all your Pin to Gas merch. Everybody always asking me, Lewis, where I get my Pin to Gas hat, my soft shell jacket, and my beanie hats from. Well, that's where it comes from, the clothingkings.co.uk. Big shout out to SFL Mini GP. Anybody's interested in signing up, go to miniusasbk.com. What I love about SFL Mini GP, you just register, pay your fees, show up. You don't need a bike, leathers, boots, nothing. They provide everything. And they have bike rentals too. And that's where a lot of our future legends of the sport are coming out of. Whether you're in Jersey or South Florida or Apex out there in California. Pretty cool.
It all starts with minis.
It all starts with Mini. Big shout out to RD Racing, my man Jake Marsh out there in the UK. All my vets out there, I need you to go to vet2track.com. His whole motto is curing PTSD one lap at a time. He puts you out there, gets you away from all the struggles you're doing, have fun, smile, and it gives you something else to make you smile on a daily basis. So all my vets out there, go to vet2track.com. For all your sunglass needs, Flying Eyes Optics, you guys can use the discount code Pin to Gas, save 10%. I love my Flying Eyes Optics, Lewis. I literally got to hide them because my wife's always taking them. Her friends are always taking them. Shoot, half the time my friends are always taking them. So I got to hide them. So the cool thing about I hit them, so I don't have them right here. I always look over to my left because that's where I used to keep them. They're made for to wear underneath your motorcycle helmet or a pilot helmet. So the arms on them are super. I mean, you can bend them in like this; they pop right back. They're made in the United States in Austin, Texas. They got, dude, they're absolutely amazing. It's my favorite pair of sunglasses. I got Oakleys, I got all that in there. Flying Eyes Optics is absolutely amazing. So, big shout out to 64 Degree Racing, my man Tate. He sent me two custom undersuits, and they are by far, hands down, my favorite two-piece undersuits. You guys can so go to 64 Degree Racing and get your undersuit. I got another friend that makes undersuits in the game, venomsport.com. You guys can go sign up and get you a custom undersuit through her. She actually sent me well, it's right there. It's absolutely my favorite T-shirt, Lewis. It's so light and breathable. So my AC stopped working about 2 weeks ago, and it was just absolutely It was like almost 90 degrees in the house. That's the shirt I threw on. I mean, because it breathed really well. It kept me cool. Of course, I was sitting in front of the fan, had ice packs on me, but yeah,
Whatever it
absolutely
takes.
whatever it takes. That's right. And for all my friends out there in California, you guys can go to tippingracing.com. They have a program. Go to racer411 at race/cra.com. They have a racer support program. They're absolutely amazing, and they're all at CRA out there in California. Um, I need everybody to go to roadracingworld.com and donate to the air fence. Man, my camera's kind of going crazy, ain't it? It's imperative that we have the air fences. If we don't have the air fences, guess what? Lewis and Jack's not showing up. We're not showing up. Nobody's showing up. So $5, $10, whatever it is, please go donate roadracingworld.com. Big shout out to BTR Racing, Bill Train Race. They're racing at the Ridge. I need everybody that's going to the Ridge this weekend. Stop by the BTR tent, get your pictures, get your autographs, say hi to all the girls. It's an absolutely amazing program, and every one of them are absolutely amazing too. And on that note, good luck to all my friends in Moto America racing this weekend. I hope every single one of you has a proper mega weekend. I will be sitting watching from home, cheering every single one of you on. Big shout out to KYT Helmets, K-Tech Suspension, Ghetto Customs for all your custom body work. I got 3 friends in the industry that make custom graphics. You're not going to go wrong by ordering from any of them. First one is Dripping Wet. REB Graphics is the second, and GRG Graphics is the third. Big shout out to Woodcraft, Mark 10 Motorsports, Free Hugs Racing, Nicole Polich Photography, Stick Boy Racing, Adrenaline Engineering, Pit Lane Moto, TBEX USA Experience.org, and CW Moto. So if you know anybody that's been in a wreck, that has been unfortunate, lost a limb, or has been paralyzed, you can absolutely get back on a bike and ride, and you can absolutely still race on the track. Go to TBEXUSAExperience.org. It's an absolutely amazing program. So, yeah, man, that's all I got, Lewis. It's been an absolute honor to have you on the podcast tonight.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me. I'll throw a few thanks to the guys that have helped us along the way. Some of them are mutual. So we've been running the KYT helmets for several years now. They've been fantastic. We've tested them, on the ground a few times, and they've done a great job of keeping us safe. We're also running the Bison Leathers. Great people, great equipment. Our local sponsors, we've got a few. We've got Emery Demolition. We've got TPL Racing. We've got Wall Street Slice. We've got Putts Transfer. And everyone else who's helped out over the years. We appreciate all of it.
Speaking of TPL Racing, here you go. There it is.
There it is.
TPL
Awesome.
Racing. Yep, absolutely.
We're proud.
I do. I wear this and my jack. So all the shirts that I get from all my friends, I do wear them most of the time. It's on a special occasion. So if me and my wife are going to go out somewhere, or me and my son, he wants to go to the mall, Best Buy or something, I'll throw on a shirt. Other than that, I don't wear them on a daily basis because I like to keep them.
Well, if you wear ours out, I'll send you another one. So don't hesitate to wear them.
Yeah, I do, man. I love this shirt too. I wear it, and people are like, "Jack Daniels, what is Beaudry? Wait, what is that? And then it gives me, oh, dude, dude, check it out, blah 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 blah. So yeah,
So the way that came up was, that is his middle name, and one of our friends kind of said, that's his middle name, and you're not exploiting it. So that's where that came up. That's actually one of a local guy in my hometown here, that created that. So it's
I
a
love it.
company called Custom Cuts. He does custom graphics and things like that. So yeah, he came up with that.
I love it. It's one of my favorite shirts. Everybody
Yeah.
always has something to say when I wear it. They're like, "Whoa, dude, that's the coolest shirt ever." I was like, "Yeah, let's go. I love it." So anyway, yeah. So, man, Lewis, this has been a lot of fun. Is there anything else you want to say for ending this podcast?
Oh, thank you for having us.
Oh, listen, the honors on mine. Just stay on with me. Bring Jack on in because I want to say hi to Jack. And so come on in, Jack. Listen, on that note, we will see you guys tomorrow. I'll see everybody tomorrow. I got a podcast at 2 p.m. Make sure you tune in. I got Jesse J on from Disrupt Racing and all that good. Just tune in. Anyway, on that note, we're out of here. See you guys.
Yep.
All right, let me end this.